coming to you live with another general reading. Happy Wednesday. Today is the day associated with the zodiac sign Gemini, because Gemini is connected to communication, okay? And Wednesdays are generally connected to the throat chakra, okay? So today is a great day to focus on Gemini sun, moon, and rising signs. So if you found this video, then there must be a message here that is for you. So thank you for joining me here tonight. And whatever time of the day it is, if you're watching the replay, make sure to comment replay in the comment section. Let me know you were here, especially if you are a Gemini with these placements, okay? And of course, if you are a Gemini, make sure to throw that Gemini sign down in the comment section so I'll know that my Gemini stopped by and paid me a visit here at the Earthy Girl Experience. Now, I have a North Node in Gemini, so I definitely, resonate with the Geminis out there. I've always had friends as Geminis. I've been around Geminis my entire life, and I never really understood why Geminis was just always in my life. I mean, I never really understood it until I realized that I had a North Node in Gemini. And if you don't know anything about North Nodes, definitely check out some of my shorts that I've made in relation to North Nodes. You can find most of them over on the clock app. You can find me over there at the Earthy Girl Experience. You can find the full, spread of North Node signs over there, to include the North Node in Gemini if you're like me and you have that North Node placement in Gemini, okay? But I have other signs over there as well. Anywho, I won't babble on too long. We're just going to jump right in. Before we do that, though, I do want to just take the time to just give honor and thanks to the Most High God for allowing me to be here this evening and allow me to be present in this moment as I do the general reading for the Gemini sun, moon, and rising signs. And I just ask the Most High God to allow me to deliver whatever message you would like for me to deliver to the Gemini sun, moon, and rising placements out there in the world, okay? So keep in mind, again, this is a general reading. So what that means is there are tons of you out there, millions of you out there that have Gemini placements either in your rising sun or moon sign, okay? So just take whatever applies and just let the rest fly, okay? That's how you do that, all right? Because there's no way to be exact for each person. And also keep in mind when it comes to general readings that, you know, everyone is on a different timeline, everyone is on a different path in life, right? So it's up to you to let me know as I'm doing this reading where you fall in that timeline, okay? All right. So definitely let me know. Give me some feedback in the comment if anything relates or resonates with you, okay? So let's just get right into it. Again, thanks for joining me this evening. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. If you are a cross watcher, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way, when I do your particular sign, you'll be notified, okay? All right, so let's just jump right into it and let's see what is going on for the Geminis, sun, moon, and risings. What's coming up for you guys? We are in the month of, towards the end of March right now. So let's see what's going on right now. All right, so the first card that came out here for you guys is the big picture card. Okay, the big picture card. So maybe there are some of you out there who are, trying to see the big picture in things right now. This particular card shows a picture of a home, right? So maybe some of you out there are manifesting, a new home, Hey, how you doing? Yay, thanks. Hi, welcome to the room. So maybe there's some of you out there trying to manifest a new home. Maybe some of you out there are trying to do some things, right? Because the big picture is in relation to your home, okay? Whether it's more finances or doing something for the overall big picture of things. But we're just going to see how this rolls out for you guys, okay? This is just the first card, so you know how it goes in my readings. It could go left or right, all right? We are talking about the twins, so we're going to see what's going to happen here. All right, so the creative card came out. So there are a lot of you out there, Geminis, who are being really creative right now or wanting to be more creative right now, whether it's just a a hobby that you're doing, or a business. Okay. But if you're not being creative and you've been thinking about wanting to tap into more of your creativity, then take this as a message from spirit, that it's time for you to do that. Okay, if you haven't already. Okay. Yeah. And for some of you, in connection to this big picture, your creative endeavors and the things that you're wanting to tap into is going to contribute to the overall big picture when it comes to your home life. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So the study card came out again for you guys. And I say again because I did a Leo rising reading, and that these cards came out for them too. So I feel like a lot of you out there are studying your craft. Okay, you're studying your craft. Some of you may just be studying in general, but some of you are putting a lot of study and research into your craft at the moment. Okay, some of you out there, the choose love card flew out. Okay, how you doing, Everett? Shout out to you. Welcome to the room. Um, so yeah, for some of you, the card is saying to choose love. Now, it shows a dating site. So it sounds like some of you are possibly thinking about dating, looking into dating. How you doing, Santos? You said, how old am I? Well, I'm grown. I'm real grown. I'm real grown. Um, so some of you are looking into dating possibly, okay? And Spirit, if you've been thinking about it, you want to try a dating website. Hey, Spirit is encouraging you to go forth with that. I feel like with the Geminis, that's not something that's uncommon, because you guys are the sign of communication. You love to talk, you love to communicate, whether you're on social media communicating or communicating in person. So it wouldn't surprise me that a Gemini would be interested in maybe pursuing a dating app or going into a dating app. Okay, yeah. Let me know if this resonates with you guys. Let me know if any of you have ever tried a dating app. I've never tried a dating app before. Let me know. All right, let's see what else comes out for you guys. I feel like this might move into a little bit of a love reading. We may have to go into the love deck today. I mean, I didn't say it was going to be a love reading in particular, but hey, the way however spirit wants us to move is the way we're going to move. So this indulge card came out for you guys. And so obviously, when you look at the card, right, we see a bunch of sweets and things of that nature. Maybe some of you have been indulging in a lot of sweets, and you've had a sweet tooth lately, and you've been wanting to eat a lot of sweets. Also, with this indulgent card, I connect this here to this choose love card and this romance card. So I feel like some of you are wanting to get out there and indulge your pleasures a little bit more. Maybe some of you actually have, okay? And so that can go a lot of ways, okay? I mean, listen, if you want to go out there and get you some eye candy, then to each his own, okay? Literally, get you some eye candy, then do your thing. Spirit is encouraging you to do that, Gemini, okay? Yeah, beautiful. I feel like for some of you, when it comes to choosing love, I think some of you, this could also be connected to your studies as well, right? Maybe there's some of you out there that might be in school, right? And you might be meeting someone possibly in your studies, regardless if you're in undergrad, grad student, or if you're in in some type of like residency or something like that. I feel like some of you could be potentially running into some new love in your educational setting as well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we might have to pull out this love deck. I think this is what Spirit is wanting to go today. We're going to see. Okay. Now, for some of you who are in relationships, because of course I just talked about the single Geminis, right? But for some of you who are in relationships, right? Spirit, this in their shoes card came out. Okay. And so I think for some of you who are in relationships, Spirit wants you to perhaps indulge a little bit more into your relationship, right? Maybe y'all need to get some chocolate, and you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it real because that's what we do here at the Earthy Girl Experience. Okay. This is grown people conversation. So if you got children in the room, children around you, they probably should be in the bed anyway. Okay. So this is grown people talk we having here. So maybe some of you guys need to grab that chocolate, grab that sweetness, and you might need to take it into the bedroom. Okay. All right. But Spirit, I feel like for some of you, Spirit is saying that there could be someone else, whether you or a partner, that is saying, hey, like we need a little bit more indulging going on in the relationship department. We need a little bit more, and Spirit is telling you to choose love, choose your partner over, you know, your creative endeavors. Okay. So if some of you have, been allowing your creative endeavors to kind of get in to overshadow the romance part of your life, Spirit is wanting you to choose love. For those of you who are in relationships, okay, choose love. All right. Listen to your other partner. Okay. Again, if that's you, Gemini, or the other person, cross watcher. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to move over to this love deck because I really feel like this is where Spirit is wanting us to go for some of the Geminis. And I wasn't anticipating on that tonight. But hey, we move however the energy wants us to move. Okay, so let's see. We're going to pull out this love deck card and we're going to see what pops out for you guys. Yeah. Yeah. See, the new love card came out. So this goes back to the single Geminis that I was referencing earlier, right? Spirit wants you to get out there and indulge, choose love. Okay, get out there and indulge and choose love. Okay, if some of you have been hesitant to step out and start dating again, Spirit is giving you that push and that signal to go ahead and step forward. Okay, and start dating. Okay, all right. Some of you may have a new love who just came in, right? You just got into a new relationship and you've been doing a lot of indulging, right, within that relationship because it's fresh and it's new and it's that honeymoon stage, okay, of the relationship. This new love card says a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So exactly what I said, right? Some of you have just got into a new relationship and you may have met that person online, okay? Let me know if this resonates with you, okay? Yeah. And some of you, like I said, may have also met them during your studies, okay? Whether you're in college, undergrad, grad student, or you're in a residency of some kind, law school, whatever the case may be, all of that counts, right? So some of you may have just met a new love in your studies as well, in college. Yeah. Now, I'm not speaking on anybody lower than college because this is grown folks conversation, okay? So if you in high school and all of that, I'm not speaking to that age range. So grown folks conversation over here, okay? Grown folks, 18 and over, all right? So that could, when I say study, I mean college level, all right? Oh, wow, okay. So this is an interesting plot twist, okay? Because for some of you, I'm just going to keep it real. The deception card came out. The deception card came out. Now, what it says is it says someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Now, when I see this deception card here, it makes me think about when that in their shoes card came out earlier, right? And I talked about how some of you who may be in relationships, Gemini, you may have, you may be going back and forth, right, with your partner. Now, in this card here, it shows what looks like a female, right, and possibly masculine energy. I never like to say male or female. We just want to say feminine or masculine energy, or it could be the same energy. Either way, okay. I appreciate and love all over here at the Earthy Girl Experience, but it sounds like someone may have a mask on, right, in the relationship. Now, whether this is a current relationship and someone is pretending as if everything is fine and they're happy with the status or current status of the relationship, that may not necessarily be true, Gemini, okay? Whether it's you or your partner, okay? However, I also want to pivot over to those of you who just stepped into a new romantic relationship, okay, Gemini? Some of you may be in a new situation with someone, and that person may have a mask on, meaning they're not who they really are. They're not who they really pretend to be. They're not who they say they are, type of situation, okay? And you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that when you're stepping into new love, especially if you're meeting somebody online, okay? I mean, everybody is putting on a perception online. They putting their best foot forward online. So you really got to be careful if you're meeting people online, Gemini, okay? But if that is not the case, and it's someone that you know, you've met in a normal setting, again, you got to be careful when you're in new relationships, because sometimes people have on masks. And that just is what it is. You have that first 6 months of the honeymoon stage, and then people can't maintain that mask for very long before it starts to slip. Okay, so Spirit just wants you to be mindful of that for those of you who may be in new relationships. Okay, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So the very soon card came out, okay? And this could go for, especially for the ones that are in committed relationships or in relationships right now. This very soon card says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now, okay? So if you're in a current relationship, right, and you've been going back and forth with a partner, whether it is, in relation to there not being enough spiciness or indulgence happening in the relationship, right, if there's tension there and you guys are needing to make a decision on some things, right, Spirit wants to urge you to do that very soon, okay? Now, I know for those of you who are in relationships, right? I want to go back to some of you being in your creative endeavors, right? There has to be a balance there sometimes, right? Whenever you are, in your creative, avenue, whether you're running a business, right, that allows you to explore your creativity, or you're just practicing a hobby. Sometimes there has to be balance, okay? So I feel like for some of you that may have been dabbling into your hobbies or creative endeavors, maybe you've been putting too much energy into that. Or it could be vice versa. Someone could be like, hey, you need to decide, is it me or is it your business? Is it me or is it your creative endeavor or your hobby? Which one is it going to be? Okay. Yeah. Now, also, too, again, this all goes back to the big picture at the end of the day for those of you who are in committed relationships. Okay. Because at the end of the day, right, if you are, deep into your, creative projects or deep into your business, right, that other person may not see the big picture that you see, right? Because you're doing this because at the end of the day, it's going to benefit your family, right? So you've got to put a lot of time into your business. You've got to put a lot of time and effort into your creative endeavors, right? But that can cause friction in a relationship, right? If you aren't able to devote an equal amount of time into the relationship, okay? So that's why Spirit said you need to hear the other person out, and you need to indulge more in your relationship, okay? At the end of the day, choose love, okay? Choose love at the end of the day. Now, for the single Geminis, this very soon card for you is for those of you who may be indecisive about if you want to step back into that dating scene. There could be some of you that are feeling like, hey, I want to get back in the dating scene, but I'm enjoying single life, or, whatever the case may be. But Spirit wants you to, at the end of the day, they want you to choose love. Okay, they want you to choose love. And maybe you're too caught up in your studies that you feel like you don't have time for love. Okay, but whatever it is that you want, whether you want to just stay single and you want to focus on your studies right now and you don't have time for a relationship, at the end of the day, Spirit says you need to decide. Make a decision. Okay, make a choice. What you gonna do? All right, you want to be in a relationship or you don't? Which one you want to do, Gemini? Okay, yeah. Again, let me know if this resonates with you guys. Let me know if this resonates with you guys. Let's see what else comes out with you guys. I didn't expect this to move to a love reading tonight, but hey, it is what it is. And then we're going to pull out the Oracle deck. We are going to do that before we close out this reading, okay? Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the flirt card came out, okay? Gemini, it says, extend your lighthearted energy to others, all right? So this could go for our single and our Geminis, single Geminis and our Geminis who are in current relationships. It goes back to what I've been saying this entire time, okay? For those of you who are in relationships, Spirit again is telling you, you need to start flirting again. You need to start putting that chemistry and that spice back into your relationship, okay? Because somebody's complaining. Somebody is complaining, okay? They're complaining. They're making comments. They're saying little side things here and there, right? Because there's not enough balance happening in the relationship, okay? And for those of you who are single, right, Spirit is urging you again to get out there and start flirting, okay? If you have been wrapped up in your studies, look, Spirit is saying it's okay to take a break sometimes. It's okay to take a break. I mean, you don't have to get deep into a relationship, but I mean, you can go out there and go do a little flirting. You can go out 1 or 2 dates. You can go out, to a party or go to the club or whatever your zhuzh is and what you like to do to have fun and relax. It's okay to get out there and flirt a little bit. You can take a little break. Okay, that's all right. You can get out there and indulge a little bit in your pleasures. Just be safe. Okay, the Spirit wants to urge some of you to do that because some of you have been, it's been a little tight, a little dry, a little silent. The Spirit wants you to get out there and have a little fun. Okay, it's getting hot outside. A lot of places around the world, we're starting to warm up. Summertime about to come. People about to be outside. Spirit is urging you. Find some balance in your schedule and get back out there and start flirting, Gemini. Okay? Get out there and start flirting a little bit. All right? Decide what you're going to do. What you going to do now? You're going to keep being cooped up and studying and not give yourself a break? I mean, I get it. You got to be devoted to your studies. You got to be devoted to your craft. Even the single Geminis out there who may have a business or a craft or something, some type of creative endeavor that they're involved in. Like, if you're single, Spirit is telling you to take a break. Take a break, all right? Step out a little bit. Step out a little bit. Yeah. Love Yourself First card came out, okay? Again, validating what I just said. Go back to what I just said. You got to love yourself first sometimes, okay? Give yourself a little bit of pleasure and break. It's okay to do that every now and again, okay? But, if you are a Gemini that's indecisive about wanting to step back out into the dating world, right? Spirit says to just love yourself first, okay? But have some respect at the same time. If you're going to get out there and flirt and you're going to indulge, right? You're going to get out there and indulge out there in the world. Have some respect. That's what this card says. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive, okay? So don't just be out there giving it out, okay? Don't be out there just giving it out, all right? Have some respect while you're out there flirting and having a good old time, okay, as it warms up outside, all right? Yeah. Yeah. Go to this Oracle deck here. Let's see what this Oracle deck has to say about this. Not 2 cards that came out. Okay, we're going to let it go. We're going to let it flow. We'll see what it says. All right. Well, the fertility card came out. Fertility card came out. So this could go many ways. What I'm picking up energetically is that for some of you, like I said before, and I just said, if you're going to get out there, Gemini, you're going to start playing around in the field a little bit and flirting. Right? If you want to get out there and you want to decide to choose love and find you a boo on the internet, on a dating app, or just at a general location, just be safe, okay? Be safe, because some of you could be, you might mess around and you might get a gift You know what I mean? That can stick around for 18 years. Okay. So just be careful as you're out there indulging and having fun. Be very careful, okay? Especially if that's not what you want. Now, for some of you Geminis, there could be a potential pregnancy on the way for you, okay? So if you've been wanting to get pregnant, this is your sign from spirit, okay? If this is something you and your partner have been wanting to do, spirit is saying go forth with that. You will triumph at the end of the day. Okay, with that seven card, that seven number there. And anytime I see that seven there in numerology, if you know anything about numerology, anytime you hit that number seven in your life path, whether it's your personal year, typically a personal year, I like to reflect on that, not the collective year according to this Gregorian calendar that we all follow. When you hit your personal 7 year, baby, your life changes completely, like permanent change. And I always use this as an example with my first child. Whenever I had my first child, I was in my personal 7th year, okay? Meaning that the year prior, when I was in my personal year 6, I wasn't a parent. I didn't have any children. I went through my 7th year, gave birth to my first child. By the time I rolled into year 8, I was a whole mom. Okay, so anytime you're in that 7 year energy, that means your life is going to completely change and be totally different than what it was before. Okay, so for some of you, there is about to be a life changing situation that's going to take place. And if that's what you want, then hey, this is your sign from spirit that it's on the way. Okay, yeah, or to move forward with that if that's what you want to do. Okay. Now, also with this fertility card, it takes me back to what I just talked about for some of you Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Risings who are in relationships where there may be a business involved, right? Something that you consider to be your baby, right? Your passion, right? That's what I connect this card to. Okay. So I feel like for some of you that are having issues in your relationship as it relates to maybe having balance, in your relationship, because you're putting so much time into your craft, your business, your baby, right? Again, spirit wants you to take the time and bring it back home a little bit. Bring it back home. That picture has a home card in it, right? It has a front door and everything. Bring it back home a little bit, okay? And focus in on your relationship, okay? Spend some time, you know, get you some hot chocolate with your husband, spouse, wife, significant other, common law spouse, whatever they are to you. Take some chocolate, get to the bedroom, okay? Do what you got to do to spice things back up, okay? All right? Yeah, do that very soon. Spirit says, do it very soon. Okay? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh man, this was a good reading. Let me know again if this resonates with you guys. Um yeah. This was a great reading so far. I feel like it is definitely. And also too with that fertility card, what just came to me as well is some of you, which I can understand if you've been having some struggles with, trying to get pregnant, right? I think some of you may also be doing a lot of studying on fertility, maybe treatments, looking for different places to go and have, IVF work done. So there's some of you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that have been doing some research because you want to get pregnant, and maybe you've had some struggles with that. But Spirit just wants you to know just to keep pushing forward. Don't give up on that dream, that journey of becoming a mom or a dad, if that's what you really want, because you'll triumph at the end. Okay, you will triumph at the end. Just keep going. Keep going. I know that could be a really tough journey. I've never personally experienced that, but I've known people that have, and what's funny, I'll tell you a funny story really quickly and then we'll get ready to wrap this up, is I had some really good friends of mine who have been married for a long time. They have been married for probably about 5 or 6 years, and they had started wanting to get pregnant and have a baby. And I remember that they had been trying, they were doing the IVF process and everything. And I remember the wife saying to me one day, I don't think I'm ever going to get pregnant. And I kid you not, I remember having a dream one day and we were sitting in a restaurant and she was sitting across from me and she had a belly. She was pregnant, right? Because that's part of my gift is I do get, premonitions a lot when I'm sleeping, and a lot of people do. And I just remember very vividly us being in that hotel, I mean, being in that restaurant. Um, and her being sitting across from me and having that belly. And I got up from the table and I walked by and I just saw her big belly. And I went to her and I said, "Hey, I had a dream that we were sitting at, having lunch or just having a meal, you and I, and you were pregnant." And literally, probably about, I'd say maybe 2 years later, they ended up getting pregnant. Now they have two children. Okay. So again, don't give up. If this message resonates with you, someone who's trying to get pregnant, don't give up. Okay. Because you just never know when your time is going to come. But Spirit wants me to send that message to someone, okay, who needs it. All right. Yeah. Let's pull one more card and then we're going to get ready and wrap this up. Hello, T-Rail. How are you? Welcome to the room. Thanks for joining me this evening. So yeah, let's do one more card and then we're going to wrap everything up for you guys. Yeah. See? So this final card here is the heart chakra card. Okay. So, with that, one, I just want to send love to all of the Gemini sun, moon, and risings out there in the world. Okay. Those of you who may need that little extra love, I want to send that to you right now. Okay. However, this heart chakra card here, obviously the number 4 at the top in astrology represents the home, right? It's that home energy. It's that Cancer energy, right? It goes back to this home card here with the bigger picture, right? So the bigger picture at the end of all of this, I think this is a beautiful way to wrap this up. The big picture at the end of all of this is that some of you need to start pouring back into your relationship if you are in a committed relationship, okay? You need to start indulging more. You need to start flirting more. You need to have some balance between whatever your creative endeavors are or whatever your business is that you're doing, okay? For those of you who are single, Spirit wants you to open your heart more, okay? Whether you've been indecisive about ever wanting to date again, or get back out there, Spirit is urging you to choose love. Okay, choose love. Okay, for those of you, like I mentioned earlier, some of you are in a new love. Okay, you just started a new love. Okay, but just be careful with that love, that new love, because there could be some deception going on, meaning someone could be wearing a mask. And if you're in the beginning stages of a relationship and it's that honeymoon, first 6 months of the relationship, just, take your time with that person, okay? And I say this with anybody. One of the things that my mom used to always tell me is that you never really know a person until you go through at least 4 seasons with them, okay? You got to go through summer, fall, winter, and spring, okay? That's how you really get to see who they are, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind for those of you who are in new relationships, Gemini, okay? And then, of course, finally here to all of the ones that my fertility people out there, the ones that are trying to get pregnant or the ones that might not want to get pregnant, okay? I mean, it's just a lot of love at the end of the day goings on here with the Gemini for you guys, but just be careful because some of you might end up with a baby, okay? Whether you want a baby or not, just be careful. Okay, be careful with that. All right. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, Gemini, you are going to triumph. Okay. Whether it is improving and working on your relationship while having balance with your business or your creative endeavor, right? You will have triumph at the end of the day. Okay. You just got to, put some balance there. Okay. For those of you who are looking for love, you will triumph at the end of the day. Okay. Spirit wants you to know that. Just decide what it is you want to do. If you want to continue to be single, stay single. Then stay single and love on yourself. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get out there, decide what you want to do and stop being indecisive about it. Okay. Either way, you're going to be successful and you'll triumph. Okay. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done. Okay. All right. So I hope all of this, I hope some of this resonated with some of you guys. Again, let me know in the comments. Once again, everybody is on a different timeline. Nobody is on the same path in life. So it's up to you to let me know where this kind of falls for you. Okay. Now, if you are a cross watcher or you're not a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, and you know a Gemini that you feel like may resonate, with this reading, then definitely share this reading with them. Okay. Share this reading with them. It may be a message in there that they need to hear. Okay. All right. Thank you guys again. Until next time, I love you for watching. Take care. Bye now.